In this video, we are going to learn on how to draw the ER diagram for the topic Railway Management System. So what is the first step for drawing an ER diagram? We need to identify the entities. So what is an entity? Entity is an object with physical existence or conceptual existence. So entity should be an object. So Railway Management System. So if you take railway, what are the objects related to the topic railway? So a station should be there, a railway station. Next, train should be there. Status for the train will be there. Passengers should travel in the train. So these are all, and there will be a route in which the train has to go from one place to another place. So all these can be called as an entity because they are all related to the topic Railway Management System. So we learned that entity is what? An object with physical existence or conceptual existence. So first let us draw the entities and then let's find why it is an entity. Okay. So entity, it should always be written inside the rectangular box. So don't forget to write the entity name inside the rectangular box. So station. Why station is an entity? Since it is an entity, I need to write it inside the rectangular box. Why it is an entity? Because it is an object with physical existence. Physical existence. Because you are able to see the railway station, right? The building is the railway station. So you're able to see that. Physically it is existing. You can even touch the station. You can touch the building of the station. So obviously station is an object. So it is an entity. So I have written it inside the rectangular box. Next, train. Train is definitely an object because it is physically existing. You are able to touch the train because train is an object. You are able to touch it. So therefore train is an entity. Next, passenger. Passenger are people. So definitely passenger is an entity because you're able to touch the person. Physically the person is existing. You're able to touch the person. Therefore passenger is an entity. Next, status of train. Status of train. Is this physically existing? Definitely not. But you know the status of train, right? How many seats are there in a train? How many seats are available in this train? How many seats are in the waiting list? So details like this, these are the status of a particular train. So they are existing, but they are not physically existing. You can't touch the status of a train, but it is conceptually existing. Because when you hear the term status of train, yes, many things come to your mind. Like how many tickets are available for this train, how many tickets are in pending, like how many are in waiting list, how many have booked already. So all these details, status of the train, when the train is starting, where the train is now, at which location it is standing now. So all these status, like all these are the status of a train only. They are all conceptually existing. You can't physically touch, but it is happening conceptually. Therefore, it is also an entity. So I'm writing it inside the rectangular box. Next, route. Route is an entity. So I'm writing it inside the rectangular box. Even route, you cannot see, you cannot touch the route. But for a train to go from one station to another station, there will be a starting place and there will be a place where the train has to end. For example, if the train has to go from Bangalore to Chennai, so there should be a route in which the train has to follow. The train should go in a particular route in order to reach Chennai from Bangalore. Okay? So route is there. The word route is conceptually existing. You're not able to physically touch and see. But it is happening because the train is following a route in order to reach Chennai from Bangalore. So route is conceptually existing. Therefore, it is an entity. So these are the 5 entities we are going to use in this particular ER diagram. So the entities are station, train, passenger, status of train and route. So make sure you write all this inside the rectangular box because entity must always be written inside the rectangular box only. The second step is we need to identify the attributes for every single entity separately. If you take station, the attributes related to station you have to write. Next, if you take train, attributes related to train you have to write. If you take passenger, attributes related to passenger. Likewise, attributes related to route, attributes related to status of train. All of it you have to write separately. An attribute, it must be written inside the oval shape. You are writing entity inside the rectangle, right? Likewise, attribute you have to write inside the oval shape. And also remember, attributes are nothing but characteristics of entity. So if you take station, what are the characteristics of station? They are called as attribute. So if you take station, the station will have a name. So station name is an attribute. Characteristics of station only is attribute. So station will have one name. So it is an attribute. Next, station will have some code. So station code. So this is an attribute. Station code, I need to underline it because it is a primary key. You should always underline the primary key. Why station code is primary key? It is primary key because it is unique for every single station. Now if you take Bangalore City Junction as the name of the station. Name of the station is Bangalore City Junction. So what is the station code for that? It is SBC. SBC is the station code. What is the station name? Bangalore City Junction. So from this what you can understand, for this station name, this is the station code SBC. For some other station, some other code will be there. So for no two stations, the code will be same. You can't say that two station names will be having the same code. For every single station name, the codes are going to be different only. Okay, since the station code is unique for every single station, we can call this as a primary key, and that is the reason why we have underlined it. So for Bangalore City Junction, if the code is SBC, for no other station name, the station code will be SBC. Only for this station, the code will be SBC. That is the reason this is a primary key and I have underlined it. Okay, so these are the attributes for the entity station. Next, let us look into the attribute for the train. What are the attributes for train entity? Train will have a name. So, name of the train. So, train name is an attribute. Next, available class. What do you mean by available class? There are unreserved class, there are sleeper class, there are AC class, there are first class AC class. So like this, there are many classes for a train. So this particular train, in this particular train, what are all the classes available? You cannot expect all the trains to have sleeper coach. Some trains do not have. But some trains they do have sleeper coach. Okay. So available classes, that is whether the train is having sleeper class or AC class, whatever they are having, the details about that comes under this available class. Next, train will have an ID. This must be underlined because it is a primary key. Because every train will have a unique ID. Now, for example, if the ID of a train, of a particular train is 12345, the same ID 12345, no other train will be having except this. Okay? So, when a particular code is not is not there for any other train, when the particular code is not the train ID for the other trains, we can easily say that this number is unique. When it is unique, we can call it as a primary key. So train ID is unique for every single train. For one train, if the ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for no other train, the same ID will be kept. Okay. So therefore, it is a primary key. So I have underlined it. So these are the attributes for the entity train. Next, passenger. So passenger, if you take name of the passenger. So this name can be further divided as first name, middle name and last name. So if you are able to divide attribute into further smaller attributes, you can call that as, what can you call that as? Composite attribute. When you are able to divide an attribute further, you can call it as a composite attribute. So here, which is the composite attribute? Name is the composite attribute. Next, age of the passenger. Next, seat number of the passenger. This also should be underlined because it is a primary key. Now, if the seat of the passenger is 32, the same number 32 will not be given to any other passenger traveling from the same place and your destination is also the same place. Then definitely the same number will not be given to any other passenger. If my seat number is 32, no other person will be having 32 as a seat number if they are traveling from the same place and if their destination is also the same place. Okay. So seat number is unique. That is the reason why I have underlined it. It is a primary key. Okay. Next is PNR. What do you mean by PNR? PNR means passenger name record. This will be given to every passenger. So that is a 10-digit number. Okay. PNR is a 10-digit number. This is going to be unique for every booked ticket. Now, if I have booked a ticket, I will have this number, a 10-digit number, which is PNR. So that number I will be having. Okay. So that will show the status of the booked train. Now, for example, I have booked the ticket for a particular train. Okay. To travel in that train. Now, I want to know whether my ticket has been confirmed or not. So how can I check that? I can check that using this PNR only, which is a 10-digit number. Okay, whether my ticket has been confirmed or whether it is in waiting list or whether my ticket has got RAC. I don't get sleeping, but I have got RAC, so I can sit and go. So I can check the status of that ticket using this number, PNR number, which is a 10-digit number. So these are the attributes for the entity passenger. Next is status of train. So if you take status of train, available seat. So how many seats are available? Next, waiting seats. So how many tickets are still in waiting list? Okay. Next, booked seat. How many are completely booked? Okay, so these many seats are completely booked for this particular train. So these many seats are available. Next, how many are in the waiting list? So if some are in the waiting list, for example, if 10 waiting list is there, if one seat gets available, the first person in the waiting list will get that seat. Okay. Likewise, for the next, as the seats are being availed, are getting available, the waiting list people will be getting the tickets confirmed. Okay, so this is the status of train attributes. Next, route. What are the attributes for route? Arrival time, departure time, station name, so now while traveling from Bangalore to Chennai, the train will follow a route. In that route, many stations will be there and the train has to stop at all those stations. So those stopping stations list their name. That is one of the attribute for route. Next, arrival time and departure time. At what time the train is going to take off and at what time the train is going to reach, arrive at a place. Okay. Bangalore to Chennai means at what time the train is going to arrive at Chennai. That time, and at what time it is going to start from Bangalore. That. Okay. So these are the attributes for the entity route. So we have completed the second step, that is writing the attributes for every single entity. So we have completed the first two steps, writing the entity and writing the attributes. The last step is we need to draw the relationship. How will we draw the relationship? We'll draw the relationship using the diamond box. Okay. So now from station to train, I'm going to draw a line like this, a diamond box like this and end it like this. So what will I write inside this? Starts. Inside this diamond box, I will write starts. So train starts at this station. The train starts at this station. Next, train has. Here from train to status of train, I am drawing this relationship. So what will I write inside this diamond box? I will write has. Train has status of train. Because train has a status, right? Next, train to passenger, I will draw like this. And inside this diamond box, I will write books. So passenger books the train ticket. Passenger books the train ticket. Next, from train to route, I will draw like this and write has. Train has a route. Okay. So these are the relationships. So train starts from a station. Passenger books the train ticket. Train has the status. And then train has a route. So this is the flow in which this ER diagram has been drawn. I hope this was helpful for you. So only 3 steps are there. First step is you need to draw the entities. The second step is you need to draw the attributes for every single entity. The last step is you need to connect using the relationship diamond boxes and write a word inside the diamond box. So this is the final ER diagram for the topic Railway Management System. If you have understood this video and if it was helpful for you, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.